water in the back by the door. Please help yourself. It's okay to bring it into the sanctuary. We're not air conditioned, so just do whatever you need to do to make yourself comfortable. And we don't have any programs, so you can't have a fan. That was my bad. I'm sorry. So welcome, welcome, welcome. This is our third Open Range concert tonight, and we're so excited. We've got Slewgrass, our own favorite bluegrass band, right here from Birchdale in northern Minnesota to start off the night. So welcome, everybody. Slewgrass.
Thank you, everybody. Yeah, we're just gonna do some of these oldie songs that we're doing. Maybe except from the last one is just stuff Judith wrote. So yeah, maybe we're gonna record some of these songs one day. And so we got a Brian. If nobody knows, Brian Palmeter on the bass over there. Yeah. My lovely sister-in-law Christine over here, and my wife Judith right here. Okay, take it off. Not too slow. Not too slow.
All alone, say, wait, my phone.
this next one we have never done before in front of you guys.
Musings in A.
A. You want to say anything about this song?
I had a headache and I went and sat in my car and I came up with this.
Is it called aspirin?
It's called Musings from a Car.
In A.
In A.
Song that Judith wrote a song for Holger, our son Holger, a couple of years ago, and then Sophia was wondering last year, how come I don't have a song for my birthday? So then she had like a week to whip this out, so she went for a walk in the driveway, I guess, and wrote this for Sophia, which we incidentally played then last year on her birthday, because we had set up a gig out at Looney's. So, yeah. For Rainier Days, I think it was. Yeah. And I picked all these songs so Christine can show her really huge talent in tuning. Because everything's in a different key, so.
I need to do my strings just for the occasion.
Okay. Which one is that?
Yeah.
3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh
here's a song Judith wrote for Holger. We'll do this one too when we're at
We
it.
should have done them the other way around.
Oh yeah,
Here we
sorry.
go. Okay. So this is for my sweet home. Ready? Yeah.
Christine. Thank you. Thanks. We haven't recorded any of those. So here's the question. So do we do Minnesota Hot Days or do we do another bluegrass song?
Minnesota Hot.
Okay, so we're gonna do that, I guess. Just because you can't be in Minnesota without having listened to that. So that's it. We were playing at on Saturday. We played over in Grigla for the Grigla Fest, and this lady comes over just at the right time, and she's like, "Hey, man, I hear you guys play every year, and I live out in Seattle, Washington, and could you play that Minnesota Hot Dish song? Yes! It's like, yes, we can play that. Lucky, so.
That was almost as good as the time when me and my kids went shopping at the secondhand store here in town, and we put out our first CD, and we thought we were all hot stuff, you know. And then we were looking at all the used-to-bed stuff, and we went over to where they had all the CDs and everything. And by God, there was a Seagrass CD there, and we bought it for $2, and then we resold it for $15. We have arrived.
Yeah. Good thing you didn't have it signed, so you had to read on it.
Right.
We could have written on it, said, hey, to Joe, from your friends, or something like that. All right, here we go.
Thanks so much, you guys, for coming and doing that. I just want to put a mark on something. You know, sometimes things happen and we don't necessarily catch it. You heard a world premiere tonight. The Musing song, that was a world premiere, so who knows where you'll hear that song over time. And I have to tell you, we did a Last Supper thing here over Holy Week last year. We decided we'd have dinner, and we were thinking about what to have. And Pam Urban said, well, if Jesus had been in northern Minnesota, he'd have wanted hot dish. So that is what we had, because it really is what Jesus wanted for his Last Supper. So. Okay, enough for the sacrilege. All right, well, Betsy and Clarke kind of get settled. I just want to share a few things. First of all, thank you so much for coming tonight. I know it's warm, and I think that takes a little extra effort to come out and enjoy this, but thank you so much for being here. It's always great to see your faces and just share music together. Soren mentioned workshops. Saturday, Betsy is going to do a fiddling for strings players. And Betsy is one very brave person because, we think fiddling violin, right? Yes, and viola, and cello, and string bass. She's willing to deal with whatever instruments come in the door. So she's got some cool stuff for us that's going to be really fun and deal with some iconic string, iconic bowings, and some cool music. I know Carol and I are going to be there, and some other people too. So just you don't have to pre-register. They start at 2:00, and there'll be an educational wing. So just come on to the church at 2:00, either for the fiddling workshop, or Clarke's going to do 3 chords to banjo glory.
3 shapes to
3
banjo.
shapes to banjo.
Chord shapes.
Okay.
3 shapes to banjo glory.
Huh? And it's been interesting talking with people about the workshops. How many banjo players? It might be surprising who plays the banjo in this community. So better come Saturday and find out.
Right, and I think that's part of the point too, Peggy, is that the way that both Clarke and I like to teach workshops, even if you're not already totally engaged in playing the instrument, there's so much that you can take away from that. And both Clarke and I always give opportunities to get your smartphones out and record, and then you've got a great practice tool for afterwards. So it can be for the banjo players or the banjo curious. And same with the bowed string players. If you're not quite sure what to do, we just invite you to come, because we both love to teach so much.
And you're really good teachers.
Well, thank you.
I know that from experience.
Well, and we just love to try to help empower people and get them excited about what they can do in their practice, and then to take it further. And then, did you say about are we going to jam?
Yes. We're going to workshops 2 to 3:30. And then we'll take a little break for some cookies and just give everybody a rest a second. At 4:00, we're going to have a jam. So whether you came to the workshops or not, you're welcome to come to the jam. Whether you just want to be there to sing or bring a drum or an instrument or whatever, just come on. We're going to have a good time. So that'll be at 4:00 also over there. So it's going to be a fun day.
It will be.
Yeah. I do need to just mention that we really are grateful to the voters of Minnesota who provide the Legacy Heritage Funds. I should have looked it up. I forget what it is in between. But anyway, there's funding that is designated for the arts in Minnesota. And having come from Kansas, where they not only don't have any arts funding, they don't even have an arts council anymore. That was just such a gift when I got here and learned about that. So the Arrowhead Regional Council provided us with a grant which allows us to bring artists here who wouldn't normally get this far. We are not on the beaten track. It's not easy just to zip up to International Falls. So we're just really grateful to have this opportunity to bring some folks up that we know you'll enjoy and would like to come and visit. So, unfortunately, people that I happen to have a relationship with. Betsy's one of my dearest friends and has been my fiddle teacher for about 6 years, almost 7 now. Yeah. So, and also a seasoned open range concert artist. Betsy and Clarke have played for us numerous times in Kansas. So it's just really thrilling to introduce Betsy Ellis, Clarke Wyatt, Betsy and Clarke. Enjoy.
Thank you, Peggy. Thank you. Hi, Sweetgrass. Y'all are awesome. That was just a wonderful set. Great songs.
We sound right together. Let's step back.
We are on a bit of a wonderful road trip to come up this far north, and we've never been to International Falls before. We have been to Duluth, but that's not the same. We're right all the way up here.
That might as well be Mexico.
Right?
So far south of here.
So, speaking of south, we'll take you south for a second and get things opened up the way we like to with a very favorite fiddle tune of ours from the Ozarks. It's called Going Across the Sea. There is no sea there. source that we learned it from, which was Bob Holt from southern Missouri, who was a dance fiddler. He played for square dances every weekend for most of his adult life down near Ava, Missouri, in those Missouri Ozarks. And but actually go way back, decades before that, and Dave Macon, one of the first stars of the Grand Ole Opry. He did a version of that too on the banjo and sang just a little bit with it, but it's similar, different, but it's got those same kind of roots to it. We're going to go over from the Ozarks to North Carolina now. It's a little road trip with us. Come on board. You know, it's there's no bus fee for this. We'll do one from a guy whose name was Frank Blevins. And he was just a kid when he made his recordings in the late 20s, early 30s. He was about 16 years old, a great fiddler and a singer, and did some songs that have really entered the popular lists, I suppose, if you can call old-time music popular, which is not necessarily, but some of the people that we know, they consider it their popular music. Frank Blevins did this song called Don't Get Trouble in Your Mind. It's got just a wee bit of a story in it. Yep, all right. Well, days are breaking in my heart. Think I must be getting old. I got no sweetheart. Don't get trouble in your mind. Don't get trouble in your mind. Yeah, I went to see my girl. She said she loved me some. Threw her arms around me like a great bottle around a gum. Don't get trouble in your mind. Don't get trouble in your mind. Again, I went to see that girl. She's standing in the door. Johnny's arms around her and the baby on the floor. Don't get trouble in your mind. Don't get trouble in your mind. It's raining, it's pouring, it's hailing from the sky. My true love goes on me, surely I'll die. Don't get trouble in your mind. Don't get trouble in your mind. Yeah, trouble on my mind. If trouble don't kill me, I'll live till I die. Don't get trouble in your mind. Don't get trouble in your mind. Yeah, days are breaking in my heart. Think I must be getting old. I got no sweetheart. Don't get trouble in your mind. 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 Yeah. Don't get trouble. Thank you. There's so many things I like to think about with that song, given that Charlie Blevins was 16 years old at the time he recorded that. And I have quite a reverence for the tradition of fiddle music and the old-time songs and passing it on from one generation to another. And there's nothing better to me than to learn something from someone who has lived a lot longer than I have. And whether that's musical or personal or otherwise, that's really important to me. And then I think about in the late 20s and early 30s when so many rural musicians had this opportunity to record music, and it was just a whole brave new world with that. And what 16-year-old youth wants to play things like the generation before them? It didn't happen very often. So I think Frank Levins was quite a trailblazer with that, and he had his own way about it. So kind of interesting to think about. But also from North Carolina, he was a bit older. I don't know if he was more mature or not. A banjo player and singer and songwriter named Charlie Poole was also quite successful during that, what some people call the golden era of old-time string band music. And Clarke and I are very fond of any kind of material that has to do with, well, traveling and stuff, but especially trains. I don't know about y'all, but for me, I've never lived out of earshot of a train at night. Even in Arkansas, where I grew up, in Fayetteville, Arkansas, the train tracks were a few miles away, but on certain very clear summer nights, I could hear that whistle from a long distance. And now we live in Kansas City, and it's just a major train town. And we love the sound of that, and we have dreams about adventuring and playing like a train tour or something sometime. I think that would be pretty amazing. This is kind of a happy hobo song from Charlie Poole, one of the ones that he recorded back in that era, called the Milwaukee Blues. And we'll follow it up with the Kansas City Fiddle Blues that will come after that. All right. That's a nice little intro, like kind of suspension. He's in like C sharp. It's like a diminished thing going to a C sharp.
Everybody knows train horns are diminished.
Yeah. Something like that. All right, yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 5. in there. We'll try to give you a little.
I used to live down a part of town in Kansas City called the West Bottoms where it's it's on the verge of getting popular now. But back in the day when I used to live there, we had to climb through the trains. It was down the train yards right on the Missouri River, and if we wanted to walk over to our friend's house, a lot of times there'd be 3 or 4 stop trains that weren't going anywhere. So you actually just had to climb through them. And some, even if they were going a couple miles an hour, and sometimes you'd hop on one. It'd be like, oh, if I just sat here for about 3 or 4 minutes, I'd be a lot closer to my friend's house. So you just kind of step on a train between boxcars and ride them down the block, and then hop off on the other side and go see your pal. I even got a tattoo of a train on this arm, commemorate that time in my life. But Betsy's gonna play.
Yeah, this one is not going 1 or 2 miles an hour.
This one's going real fast.
Yeah.
Betsy's gonna play this good old fiddle tune called the Kansas City Railroad Blues.
You know it. All right. Some landscape. We're going to go exploring a little bit tomorrow and see what we can see around here. But it was kind of impressive. We went over this one bridge and there was just like a big quarry or a big gully in the water there and everything. It was really beautiful and something to appreciate to see about this. We like the landscapes. We like the different kinds of views that we can see, and we like tunes from all over the place, including one that Clarke's going to tell you about now, while I wipe my face.
Exactly how long is the face wiping story?
I know.
We're gonna have to go all the way back to the Civil War. No, we're really not. Let's not go there. This does go back a ways, though. This tune was brought to popularity again in finger quotes, by James Bryan, great fiddler who played in the played with Norman and Nancy Blake a lot.
Rising Fawn.
Rising Fawn. I wanted to call it Golden Fawn. It's Rising Fawn. It's just a remarkable fiddler from Alabama, and he learned this tune from Matt Blaylock, who learned it from his great uncle, who wrote it. He lived up there in Sulphur Springs, Alabama, and he went off to work in the paper mill in Tryon, Georgia. Moved up there, the paper mill closed, he went back home. He wrote a tune called Farewell Tryon. And it's a beautiful tune, and we're going to play it now.
evocative tune, isn't it? You can kind of go on a little, wandering in your mind, I think, with the melody of that. Doesn't have to have words to tell a story. I think that's one of the magical things about music that we can all enjoy together. We will do a lyrical one now too. That's a little bit of a journey, a gentle journey, I think, if you will. A long time ago, my former band was playing at it was a special event at a camp in Kansas, not too far from Kansas City, and there we had a little time. It was a beautiful day. It was probably summer, but it wasn't hot as you know what there. And so it was a lovely day, and we had time to just kind of be there after the performance. And I took a little wander of a hill and a little path, little dirt path that had these beautiful flowers on either side of it. And I thought that path has probably been walked on a lot of times. And being inspired right there, the song came out. And I'm not a prolific songwriter at all. I want to again commend the songwriting of the Bluegrass Gallup. That's just beautiful, beautiful stuff. Really, really wonderful songwriting. I really appreciate it. So here's a little one that is called The Golden Road.
Let's have some fun.
My mom's still with me. Whenever Clarke and I have the great good fortune to travel, whether it be, just down the road a couple of miles or a day and a half journey to someplace wonderful like here that we've never been, or, a few times we've had the great good fortune to travel overseas, the two of us together, and we played at this really cool festival in Northern Ireland at the Ulster American Folk Park, it's called, and it's a living history museum that has a music festival once a year, and the purpose of that park is telling the story of immigration from Northern Ireland to the United States. And so they're very interested in keeping those musical connections together too. And it's just wonderful. I got to be there with my old band a long time ago, and then Clarke and I were invited to play there a few years ago. And they also asked us, when you're over there, when you're overseas, and you're especially there, to play a festival or something, anything you want, and they say, could you go over, first of all, they said, could you go over, we'll give you a ride, a lift to the BBC station to be on the air, and we were like, yeah, we'd love to, that'd be great, BBC, you betcha, we'd love to, and then they said, well, also, could you get up extra early on this second morning of your trip here, and could you just come to the park, the festival, the folk park, and we're going to have BBC on site, and they're going to do like several bits over a 2-hour period for the morning show. We said, you betcha! We'd love to. Normally, musicians, I don't know if you know this, we like to sleep.
We don't play.
Don't play before, but we're like, yes, we would, and it was a blast. And this tune will forever, this song, it's just a classic one, and we played it for several of the segments during the time we were on air, because it's just a wake-up song and tune. It just makes you feel good. So ever since then, I will always think about Northern Ireland with this one.
Yeah, I believe that we have several friends named Cindy as well.
We do. We have friends.
Yep, so we always think of our friends.
That too.
And I always think of one of the most awkward questions ever asked. I mean, it wasn't super awkward, but it was pretty awkward. So we're on BBC Northern Ireland morning show. So this is like if live. So if you listen to, it's like Morning Edition on NPR. It's like what people that listen to NPR drive to work to. Yeah. So everyone in Northern Ireland is listening to us on the radio. And so we play this song, and it's wonderful. We have a great time. We're all having a laugh. And after the tune, the interviewer says to me, so tell me about how popular this song in Missouri is.
Oh, yeah.
Well, 6 or 7 people like it. Yeah.
But used to be.
100 years ago, it was real popular.
You're playing old time. Yeah. Once upon a time, it was really popular. That's one of the reasons we like playing the old tunes and the old songs, because we still enjoy playing them now because they're just as good now as they ever were. And if they can just come, keep staying in the collective minds, maybe they'll come back popular again. You never know. Yeah.
Let's get down on
Let's
it.
get some Cindy.
No.
Huh?
Let's do something between those.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Now I need to calm down just a little bit. Therefore, we have a beautiful piece to share with you here. I love tunes that have nature themes in them. It can be an instrumental tune, and so just the title is enough to give me that idea of a mind movie, is sometimes what I call them. And this is a beautiful tune, and a musical hero of ours, the late great John Hartford. If that name is not familiar, that's okay. But you may remember a song that Glenn Campbell sang called Gentle on My Mind. No one latched doors, I was open and you had the screen fun. So John Hartford, who was born in New York, but he was raised in St. Louis area, Missouri, and spent his whole youth learning from the fiddlers in Missouri, his elders, the banjo too, and he wrote that song, and Glenn Campbell made it famous, and that enabled the brilliant John Hartford to have a very full career, making all kinds of music, writing songs, singing songs, and then playing the old tunes. And it's just such a huge, wonderful repertoire. And this is a favorite one that he learned from the Goforth fiddling brothers from southeast Missouri in the Ozarks, the Goforths. And where he went with it was an influence, and we like to explore on this tune called The Quail is a Pretty Bird. so much going on. Peggy knows this very well. We've studied this tune deeply. It's very free and expressive with those bowings, but it's the bowings with the fiddle that makes it all come together. And so, John Harford, if you were like, oh yeah, I remember that gentleman online, but I haven't checked out other stuff from him, I encourage you to type his name in on your preferred search engine and see where it takes you.
We please play Arkansas Traveler a couple times there.
Okay. Okay.
I just wanted to bust down on a fiddle tune.
All right, we'll bust down. We have this is not counted as a whole one. After this, couple more for tonight's concert, and then we asked if Bluegrass would join us for a finale. That'll be coming up soon if they don't run off and leave us. We hope they'll want to join us just to make some music together. That would be like a little prelude to the jam. You know, should be nice.
So this is the best tune ever written. It's called, well, I won't tell you yet. Betsy was born in Arkansas.
No, I wasn't born there.
No, Betsy was raised in Arkansas.
Yeah, I wish I was born there.
And traveled to Kansas City.
That's it.
Yeah. That's where I was going with this. I was born in Texas, and I was born in Texarkana, Texas, right on the state line of Texas and Arkansas. My parents were very Texan, and as you know, as you may know, Texans who are Texan are very Texan. It's like a thing, right? So my parents' joke is,
I don't think it's a joke.
they like to say, the hospital was on the state line, but luckily the maternity ward was in Texas.
Born in Texas.
And I like to say, Arkansas Traveler is the greatest tune ever written, and my parents would roll over in their graves if they heard me say it, if they were dead.
Not so much about being fancy, but it's just like how many tags does that little bit at the end.
You got me that time.
I did get you that time. Okay, I'm going to switch over to my other You all might have noticed that Clarke has two banjos. They're in different tunings. This is his, he built both of them. He built the other one all the way from scratch. This is more of a grandpa's hammer kind of banjo that he has, he still made it, but it's you know, that old, he tells the story for a second. I'll double check my tuning. About grandpa's hammer.
Oh yeah. I actually call this banjo Grandpa's hammer because so if you have your grandpa's old hammer and you break the handle and then you replace the handle and then you break the head a little while later and you replace the head, is it still Grandpa's hammer? Of course it is. So this banjo started out life as a cheap recording king, but at this point it's been completely refretted, reshaped. It's got a completely different Pendleton block pot, and then I know, but I'm saying I did all this stuff. I spliced this stuff to the heel so that the neck was above the thing, and then specifically the main thing that makes this banjo awesome is that I set it up to be tuned real low.
Yeah.
It's got big thick strings on it, and I call it Grandpa's hammer, and I love it.
Is mine lower than yours?
Oh, it's there. Right in there.
So Clarke has the two banjos, I've got two fiddles, and I've been playing on the other one the whole night, and it's in what's called just standard tuning, like a regular violin, G, D, A, E. But there's a whole breadth of repertoire in the fiddle repertoire that is only best served with some alternate tunings. If you know about guitar open tuning, it's sort of similar to that. There are tunes that are intrinsic to these tunings, and we have a pair for you here to finish our set before we have a grand finale. And this is all the way down to, where's your, play that D.
That's a low A, that's it.
Play the A though. It's in the same octave as that banjo. And then I've got the A and the D and the A, rather, from low to high, stay the same. And then the top it's a D, so it's 3 Ds and an A to make this tune. All right, here's Dry and Dusty followed by an old cowboy song. Oh, oh. hosting it and for you all for coming. And would you all like to play a little bit with us, Bluegrass? That'd be awesome if you want to. Be like a little preview of what we can do in a jam session together. But we're really grateful to be here together. You can find out more about us if you like on betsyandclarke.com. We do have recordings, but they're not in what now is the traditional format. They're in a digital format. If you're interested, you want to talk to me about that afterwards, feel free. But you can also just look at our website, and there's some music on there to listen to and some videos to have together and everything. I want to make a quick switch on my fiddle, and thank you once again for coming. It's our great pleasure to be sharing music here today and to get to share more and get together with people on Saturday as well. So thank you. Hang on one second.
And if somebody wants to borrow a fiddle or borrow a banjo, I have some to talk to me.
That was so nice of you, Simon. You said that. That is super nice. So, yeah, these workshops can work for anybody just even dabbling. You may not get a ton of hands-on time, but we'll help you out with that. And that's super generous. Thank you for that offer. Come in closer.
We're good.
We thought this is a song that we really like to do at almost any jam session that Clarke and I do. It's just a great, feel-good, get-together song. It's from the Carter family, and otherwise known sometimes as the first family of country music. Sarah and Maybelle Carter and Sarah's husband AP, the original Carter family, and it's Keep on the Sunny Side. And so if you feel it, and if you know it, and if you get to know it, feel free to sing along on every single part.
I'll bet you kind of know it. Can I